Wake up dead. On hypothermia, sin and the shared ontology of cats and men. There is a peculiar grace in the slow death that doesn't know it's dying. When Nicholas first stumbles out of frost-blindness, with Boba curled beside him like a companion animal to the underworld, he does not awaken like Lazarus to a voice calling him by name, nor like Jonah vomited up with a mission. He wakes up dead, which is to say, he wakes up still dying, but aware of it now, and that, in a world like ours, counts for resurrection, or the start of it. The metaphor is almost too neat. Hypothermia, a condition of the body where extremity sets in so slowly, so subtly, that the person freezing to death begins to feel warm, even euphoric. They grow calm, they lie down, they close their eyes, they strip off their clothes in terminal confusion. The body lies to the self in its final hour. It quiets the alarms, dulls the senses, and numbs the panic. And that, in some deep and terrible way, is what sin is like. Not moral rebellion in the Augustinian sense, not some deliberate cosmic treason in the Calvinist schema, but something colder and more intimate, more tragic and more terrifying. A slow estrangement from life itself, a loss of interior warmth, a creeping incapacity to love or trust or be loved. A condition, not an act. Nicholas doesn't wake up from hypothermia. He wakes up in it. And this waking, this first conscious self-awareness within the condition of decay, that is where the real story begins. The first stirrings of salvation are not a moral reckoning. They are not even hope. They are awareness of death. This is where Heidegger's Buying in Time touches the text. Heidegger says that to be human is to be being towards death. That what defines Dasein, the being for whom being is a question, is not any trait or capacity or creed, but that it knows or comes to know that it will die. To be human is to know you're dying and still go on. It is not suffering that wakes Nicholas, it is being towards death. Hypothermia was the absence of awareness. Awakening in hypothermia is the rebirth of self-understanding, the dark sacrament of horror. And so, he wakes up dead. But death becomes his teacher. Like Sartre's idea of decision to decide, from detitor to cut, Nicholas must now live as one who has made a break. He is not yet free, not in Sartre's full existential sense, but he has encountered the edge of decision. There is no Eden to walk back into. But the cave where the cat shares her breath with him, that cave is a womb now. And he is its darkened child. This is where the cat returns, not as an animal, but as a theological figure, a creation companion, an uncanny emissary of grace. Boba does not speak, but neither does she kill. Nicholas could have eaten her. She could have fled. But instead they remain. They are with. And this being with is more theological than most sermons. It is creation care in miniature, a survival pact, a peaceable kingdom, a Cold War détente of blood and fur. It is not a covenant in the legal sense, but it is a covenant in the ontological sense. We will live if we live together. Here the story brushes against private wit in the thin red line. Malik's poetic soldier mystic, who feels alive only when he walks barefoot through Melanesian villages. He does not understand their language, but he knows their song. He doesn't know their theology, but he recognizes the presence of another mode of being, where war hasn't bent the sky. And in that sense, Nicholas's time with Boba is his Melanesia. It is his prelapsarian moment, shared breath in the snow, a warmth not from fire, but from fidelity. He is learning a new ethics, not imposed from above, but drawn from the conditions of mutual fragility. And that, we might say, is the real Eden, not the garden of untouchable bliss, but the shared life of creaturely dependence, of co-thriving. If there's such a thing as ecological theology, it starts in caves, not pulpits, not labs. And yet, to be thrown into this is no less horrific. As Heidegger would insist, this isn't a return to being, this is a confrontation with it. Nicholas, like the girls in Yellow Jackets, is thrown into a world without explanation. The girls build their cults to survive. Nicholas does not build a religion, but he does forge rituals. He shares food, he makes fire, he does not consume his neighbor. And that might be enough. For now. The essay's title is drawn from a Megadeth track, Wake Up Dead, which is itself a kind of metaphor for betrayal and spiritual confusion. But the metal mood here resonates deeper in the substrata. Even Five Finger Death Punch, whose lyrics sometimes oscillate between self-hatred and defiance, stumbles into this moment of existential epiphany in songs like Wrong Side of Heaven, where the lyricist admits, "I'm no hero, and I'm not made of stone." No false confessions, No easy repentance, just an honest reckoning with the cold. And maybe that's where the warmth starts. The cave, as Nicholas will discover, is not a tomb unless he stays there. But if he emerges, not merely survives, but lives, then it is also a womb. And if it is a womb, then Eden is not a myth. It is a memory, one that creation itself has not yet forgotten, even if we have. We leave him now on the edge of thaw, not healed, not safe, but awake. And that, in a world of hypothermia and godlessness, is almost a miracle.